What did you say then?
Who?
Your boss?
About what?
You know, the Boris.
Oh, yeah.
How's it going? I'm David. I'll switch. Cool. For the sake of the camera and whatnot, can you just quickly introduce yourself and your film and your involvement with it?
Yeah, I'm Deck. I'm a writer-director. Did you say, oh, for the sake of this camera?
Yeah,
Bleeding Rough is I'm ruining everything already. Is a film that we shot a couple of years ago, but it's taken a while to get finished due to various of these low-budget filmmaking problems that are quite common. And yeah, it was basically us three have put all the work into it. We kind of spent a lot of time leading up to shooting, sorting it all out ourselves, and then there was like a crew of three of us on, sometimes four of us on the actual set, and then all us three did all the post. So yeah, it's pretty much us three who kind of made the whole film what it was. Apart from, of course, the amazing actors that brought a hell of a lot to the film as well.
Yeah, so familiar faces. Regarding the film, where did it actually come from? Like, where did it actually stem from? Was it something that you did at university, or was it something that you kind of actively went out to create off your own backs?
Yeah, it was something that I did as part of university, but I intended it to be a bit more. It wasn't just a university project. It was supposed to be something that really kind of showed, because I want to make films, that are good. So I wanted to make a film that was as good as I could possibly make it, basically. And there was some limitations to what I had in my skill set at the time. So it's I'd say it's lacking in certain respects, but it's still a fantastic job, considering us three, kind of didn't really know what we were doing when we were making it, which we didn't. But since then, yeah.
Well, what are the highlights from it? Now, say how many years has it been again? Sorry.
2 years.
2 years. Like 2 years on, looking back at it, what are the things that you kind of think, as you've evolved, it's like, that's not as good as what it should be now.
I'd say the scripts. There's I think there was maybe one or two many instances of the F word in there. I don't know if anyone noticed. It perhaps went a little bit overboard with that, and yeah, it was a bit full on in some respects of the script being perhaps a bit too forceful in what it sets out to say, but yeah. I'd say that's pretty good.
I mean, for myself, I don't enjoy the idea. I mean, it was a great, I guess, kind of almost spin on the whole, I guess the best way gang culture, etc. But you kind of take on the gang culture and you really put it into the grassroots and kind of everyday life, and the almost like the desperation sense of did it for his family and for his wife and so on. Yeah, where did that actually come from?
The Wire. I was watching an episode of The Wire where Omar went and kind of began this robbery, and I thought, what would happen if some Manchester lads did that? That'd be quite interesting. And then there's the idea that the problems wouldn't come about, the risk factors from actually robbing criminals, but from themselves being flawed individuals that would lead to the ultimate downfall.
Yes. You also have years. What roles have you guys shared in the actual film?
I did the music and sounds.
Oh, nice. What, when you got the final cut of the actual film, where did you start when it came to creating music for it?
Well, it was kind of a process of elimination because it needed to not have any of the wrong kind of connotations for that kind of film. It's quite I thought it was quite an understated film, and I didn't want to go too full on. Like, most of my background is in the kind of strings and stuff, like that emotional scene you get at the end. But for the rest of the film, it needed to be more subtle. So I kind of just thought, well, bass guitar's a good instrument. It doesn't have a lot of connotation, especially if you play in the way I did, which was just making percussive sounds with it. So I just used that to set kind of a subtle dark tone for the film, kind of hint at that things might go wrong throughout the film. And then during the climax, I kind of just thought, well, I'll do what I normally do, which is just like me.
Was there a lot of back and forth between you and Deck, or is it kind of something? Was it like a remote workflow as well? Was it kind of you guys sat in a room and kind of worked it into tweaks on it?
Yeah, we met up before starting anything to talk about sound direction for it, and also when I started doing stuff, I think we went through a few different styles, and then even when we nailed down the style on most of the tracks, we did quite a lot of reworking to kind of to match what Deck had in mind for the mood of the film, because that was quite an important thing for music to do in the film.
No, it's like that. It's cool. Yourself?
So I'm the producer, camera, cinematographer, and colorist of the film.
What did you find that the most difficult in producing something like this?
Finding time. Yes. Actually, it wasn't just 2 years that it took us. There's an additional year of meeting up like once a week at Nero.
6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. Meeting up in Nero and going through the script, which took a lot of drafts, and I think putting it all together in the end to end up with this, I'm really proud of what we have. Considering the time it took 3 years.
So it's a nice little shot. I mean, like, I guess as a producer, what are you planning on doing with this? Have you actually done things with it before? Is this kind of the first screening?
No, that's the first time we showed it.
Yeah.
We had a little small run to selective people on YouTube because they've been waiting for it a long time after we filmed it, and we kind of like kept promising, oh, it's coming, and we forget about it for a little while, and then it comes back, and then we go, oh yeah, how about we finish this? So Deck did a good job of he kept on, he finished it, and it just, then we collaborated all three just to add the finishing touches with the sound, colour, effects and everything to finish this. So.
Very nice. Well, what are you wanting to do with it? I guess as a producer and director as well, you want to kind of try and put it into the festivals? Are you trying to kind of show it to influence people that can hopefully kind of get you into bigger and better things, or what's your game plan with it?
Yeah, so I moved on to doing a full-time job, so it's now kind of Deck's little baby, and he will continue pushing it to festivals and hopefully use it to broaden his career, get some attention there, so really hope he'll get some out of that.
Very nice, cool. Any questions from the audience? Yeah, at the back.
I very much enjoyed it, but I was a little taken aback by Darren Connolly's beard.
It's really epic beard, wasn't it?
I wondered, was it specially grown?
I begged him to grow a beard. He absolutely had to grow a beard. That part needed a beard.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Actually, did you do any reshoots for the film?
No.
No. All one take.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We shot it all. We shot it all over. Well, we tried to shoot it over 3 days. That was the hubris of student filmmakers. We ended up extending it to another 3 days, which was in itself a bit more of a stretch.
Yeah.
But so we didn't have any beard problems. That nearly became a problem, but it wasn't a problem.
Yeah. It's I mean, we've done quite a few we've done films where we've done reviews like a period of time afterwards, and finishing her and her itself is always an issue. You always find they'll kind of come back and then kind of shaving it off, they'll kind of have something else where they've got to keep another roll and stuff, and it's always one of them you've got to find the right time, the right window where they have like the beard and hair we can actually grow to the point that we can actually use it again. So it's always a fun issue to tackle. Any more questions? Yep.
Has it urged you to do more projects? Have you been doing more projects?
Yeah, I've done a couple more films since this one, and I've got one that I'm trying to build at the moment. I kind of try to put in a lot of effort into each film that I've done, so I've not done a hell of a lot. Just a couple more short ones.
2 years each time we do it.
Yeah,
No,
the other two didn't.
That one was a bit more ambitious. The first one we did was a bit more ambitious.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
It was interesting, the casting. How did you go about finding this actor?
I just put a call out on, I think it was Mandy and something else.
Can I see?
No.
Yeah, I think Gumtree was one of them as well, and something else. Casting Call Pro as well, yeah. And Dom, the lead, came up through there.
I've seen Dom quite a few things.
Yeah, he's quite prolific, yeah. And he recommended Darren, who at the time was just starting out acting. And I met him, and he was just like an explosive character, and just in himself. And I thought, yeah, he's great. And he was up for growing better as well. So
He literally came on board and took over. No, he honestly did. He took over. He has a character.
He leads any room that he's in. He's a great personality to have around just on set, just for the fact that he kind of, he's a good asset.
Actually, last question. How did you get Faith involved? He's in quite a lot of short films.
He was Casting Call Pro as well. Yeah.
He always sneaks into the films. Yeah. Any more questions?
What program did you use for the music, sorry?
I just used Logic. Most of it was just recordings of a bass guitar, like a really old, crap bass guitar, like really bad recordings. And the rest of it was Audio Bro LA scoring strings for the strings. So strings aren't real, but they're the best I could do.
Sounded real, that's good.
Cool, cheers.
Very good. I guess kind of where can we find all your works? Do you guys have any websites or anything?
DavidFennmusic.com.
I'm actually, that was my big thing, and I'm actually moved on a bit from filming now. So you won't see my work except for that one. Nothing else. Nothing to see. Got none.
Vimeo.com/Gallacher.
There we go. Cool. Yeah. So thanks very much for coming down and showing the film.
Thank you very much.